Viv. I heard you're not coming back for summer vacation. Is it true? Are you really that busy with work?
Hey, Mackenzie. Yeah, I'm afraid it's true, sis. I did my best, but I couldn't get any time off. My company makes a big song and dance about being pro-family and personal life, which of course means employees with kids get priority on time off. I'm single, so there was no chance I was gonna get the highly contested summer vacation slots.
Oh, I see. That's a shame. There was somewhere I really wanted to go with you. There was a movie I wanted to watch with you too.
Sorry, for every day we don't get to spend together on summer break. I'll make up for double later on when I can finally get some time off. Let's watch the movie then.
Who knows when that's gonna be? Besides, I have school on weekdays.
Right, of course. Not only that, but you have a tons of exam this year, right?
Sure, it's not a big deal though. I could always take some time off from school, if you catch my drift.
No way, your exams are important. Oh, that reminds me. Did you decide which college you want to go yet?
Not yet.
What? But you're in your last year of high school. You don't have forever to make your decision, you know. This is very much a boat that can't be missed. You have to decide soon, sis. You're the sharpest cookie there is. Surely you could get into any college you set your sights on.
That's not true at all.
I love your humility, sis, but you're totally a genius. You got some of the best mock exams results in the school. I bet you'd blow me out of the water. I hardly remember any of that stuff. Math formulas, algebra, calculus, ugh, my brain hurts just thinking about it.
It's hardly something I feel like going around bragging about. You're the amazing one, Viv. I think you're way more impressive than me.
No, that it's a competition. But what makes you say that?
The fact that you had the inner strength to start working the moment you graduated high school, despite having just lost mom and dad in the accident, was nothing short of amazing to me. You might have only been flipping burgers at Peepdonald's, but you were my lifeline. I know it was you who carried on paying for my lessons with the private tutor. I could have cried when I found out. I think you're amazing, and I'm so grateful to have you. You're the best big sister on the whole planet.
Whoa, Mackenzie, are you feeling okay? Did you hit your head? It's not like you to praise me.
Fine, I'll stop if you're gonna be like that.
Sorry, sis, I was just kidding. I'm so happy you think that about me, but I still have a long way to go. To tell you the truth, I wish we could live together. But things are so tough on my end right now that I had no choice but to leave you with Aunt Petunia. If you ask me, I'm not living up to my role as your big sister at all.
That's not true. You're doing great. I wish we could live together too. I'd move in with you right now if I could.
Be careful what you wish for. You'd probably be miserable if you lived with me as things get stand. My apartment, and I hesitate to call it that, is a single room in a company-mandated dorm. It's so cramped even a hobbit would find living here difficult. Not only that, but I work such crazy hours that I'm home late pretty much every night. Even if you lived with me, we'd hardly ever see each other. I'm barely even finding time for the housework these days.
I'd do it. I don't care if it's cramped either. Not if I could be with you.
Surely it's better for you to be living at home with Aunt Petunia, at least for now.
I am in high school, you know. I hate the way you treat me like I'm a kid all the time.
But you're 5 years younger than me, and I do remember you being a literal kid, so you can hardly blame me. In my mind, you'll always be 11 years old.
Stop thinking about me like that. I'm 17 now, and I'll be 18 in a few months.
Right, that's true. I guess you're right. It's not fair of me to treat you like a kid forever. I just can't believe how fast you're growing up. If I'm honest, I think part of me struggles to let go of the old you. But I have to accept that before long, you'll be out there facing the big wide world too. Can you believe it's been a whole 5 years since Mom and Dad passed away in the accident?
I know, it still doesn't feel real.
It's this weird, inexplicable mixture of feeling like both a lifetime and like it barely happened 5 minutes ago.
I know exactly what you mean.
Don't worry, sweetie. I'll make sure I'm back for your birthday and the anniversary of the day we lost Mom and Dad.
Okay, thanks. Then there's our plans for summer break.
Oh yeah, that too.
I know how forgetful you can be, so I'm gonna remind you every week.
You really don't have to do that. I'll remember, I swear. For the time being, I want you to focus on your studies like your exams are the only thing in the world that matter. We can enjoy our time together once they're out of the way. Oh yeah, and don't forget to decide soon which college you want to go as well. Don't worry about tuition fees. If you have your heart set on someplace, we can make it happen.
Viv, are you sure about this? Are you really sure I can go to college?
I already told you like a million times over. Of course you can. Why do you think I'm putting in all this overtime of work lately? You better hurry up and choose a good one. Otherwise, it's all gonna have been for nothing. Oh crap. Sorry, sis. My break ended 3 minutes ago. Gotta go.
You're at work? Sorry.
It's cool. I was on my break anyway, so I am glad we got to talk. Catch you later. Hey, Aunt Petunia. I just sent over this month's private tutor fees and everything I saved up to cover Mackenzie going to college. I was super nervous transferring that much money in one go. Would you mind checking it went in?
Hey there, Viv. As always, thank you so much. Affirmative. I'll check in the next hour and get back to you.
Cool, thanks. There was something about Mackenzie I wanted to discuss with you actually. How's she doing these days?
Huh? She just seems like her old usual self to me. Nothing out of the ordinary. Bright, bubbly, energetic, and a royal pain in my butt.
I see. I'm pleased to hear that. It's just that I kind of feel like she seems a little down lately. She told me she still hasn't decided on a college. She doesn't have much time. She'll be done with high school before long, and I'm really worried she's not gonna make it.
My husband and I haven't noticed anything out of the ordinary, sweetie. I've got a pretty good idea what's going on, though. You know how much she adores you. Surely she's just sulking because you won't come home to see her?
Ah, I see. Right. That does make sense, actually. It's funny on the one hand, she demands I stop treating her like a kid, while on the other, she sulks like a spoiled child when she can't get her own way.
Let the princess have her mood swings and don't be such a spoil sport. You're the only close family she has left. She thinks the world of you, so it's only natural she'd be desperate to see you. You did move out of the family home the moment you graduated to start working, after all. I don't know if she lets you know it, but not having you around has been hard on her. So off you went, you flew the nest and spread your wings, and she stayed behind on her own with us. Of course, we all love her, and I treat her like my own daughter, but we are ultimately just relatives. Even though we are all here for her, I still get the impression she feels lonely and isolated sometimes.
I wonder if it would have been better if she'd just have lived with me from the get-go.
Come on, Vivian, be real here. That was unrealistic back then. Oh, yeah. Have you told her yet that you want her to move in with you once she graduates high school?
No, I haven't said anything yet. I'm keeping it quiet for the time being. If I told her now, I think it might impact her choice of college, and I can't bear the idea of jeopardizing her future just so she can move in with me. I'm waiting for her to make her mind up right now. If her choice of college happens to be near my workplace, I'll invite her to live with me. But if it doesn't, I'll let go of the idea. Her future has to be our #1 priority.
I get the impression her desire to be close to you is a lot stronger than any feeling she has towards college.
Yeah, you're right, but that's exactly why I'm holding off. Look, it's still early days. Maybe once she gets to work on actually looking for a place, she'll find a college she wants to go to more than she wants to live with me.
That's a big maybe, and let's face it, she's not the only one who feels that way, is she? You want to live with her, too. That is why you've been saving up to buy a nice, big, spacious apartment with room for you both to live in without driving each other crazy, right? It'd be a shame to see all of that hard work wasted. The thought of you ending up living separately, or, God forbid, in different states, is genuinely a sad one.
I feel you, but it wouldn't be fair of me to decide her future based on my feelings. I'm sorry to trouble you with this kind of thing all the time. We'd be lost without you, Aunt Petunia.
Don't be silly. What kind of a person would I be if I hung my late brother's orphan little girls out to dry? Me and my husband think of you both as our daughters. But, you know, Vivian, I can't help but wonder whether Mackenzie really will end up going to college.
Huh? What makes you say that?
Think about it. What did her big sister, who she admires and looks up to more than anyone in the world, do? You found a job as soon as you graduated high school, because you didn't want to be a burden on anyone. It wouldn't be that surprising if she said she wanted to do the same thing.
Sure, it's true, I didn't want to be a burden on anyone, but I also suck at academic stuff. Mackenzie's a smart cookie with a genuine shot at making it far in life. She's so clever she could go into any industry she wants.
Listen, Vivian, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I do think you should be a little more considerate of how your sister feels about all this.
How she feels? What do you mean?
Remember back when you had your finals coming up and my husband kept pressing you to decide which college you wanted to go to? You ignored him and decided to go your own way by getting a job instead. I'm not saying what you did was bad. In fact, I think it's great you chose your own life path instead of having it decided for you. But you should understand there's a chance Mackenzie feels exactly the same way as you did back then. Mackenzie is ultimately her own person with her own thoughts and feelings. Besides, there are a lot of people who decide to go to college later in life these days. If you think about it, 18 is a young age to be making a decision with such enormous, far-reaching implications on the rest of your life.
You make a strong case.
Sorry for going on at you, sweetie, but the point I'm trying to make here is that college isn't the only choice she has.
But I've been working so hard to save up the money for her tuition fees all this time.
And I think that's amazing. The fact that you did that for your little sister is admirable and deserves nothing but respect. But if Mackenzie decides on a different path, instead of repudiating it, I think you should keep an open mind and be considerate towards what she decides she wants her future to look like. Think about it. Do you regret not going to college?
Of course I don't.
Exactly. I think Mackenzie would really appreciate it if you showed a little more understanding towards what she wants, not just what society expects of her. Don't worry, sweetie, you're both still young. The pair of you are brimming with potential and possibilities. You can be whatever you want to be, and I'm confident that whatever happens, things will work out.
Okay, you're right. I'll try to be a little more considerate towards Mackenzie's feelings. Thank you.
Take care of yourself, sweetie. I look forward to hearing from you again.
I will. You too. Hey, Mackenzie, what's going on? I just heard from your friend Anastasia. You didn't show up for today's mock exam. Is everything okay? Are you sick?
Yep, I didn't go.
Why not? What's going on?
It's fine.
It's so not fine. Are you going to tell me what's going on or not? Anastasia was so worried about you. You didn't even message her.
She doesn't need to worry about me, so chill out.
Excuse me?
I'm not going to college. I'm gonna find a job as soon as I graduate high school, just like you did. I can't bear the idea of making you suffer so much by doing all that overtime to put me through college when I'm not even that interested in going.
What are you talking about? I'm not suffering, Mackenzie. I'm doing it because I want to. How many times do I have to tell you you don't have to worry about me?
If I go to college, you'll have to shell out even more money. So much that it'll make the private lessons I've been having all this time look like a drop in the ocean. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars here. I can't have you throwing all that money at me on my conscience. I want you to stop living for me and start living for yourself. Spend your money on you for a change.
No way. You're going to college. I already sent your tuition fees. Aunt Petunia told you, didn't she? About how I finally got done saving and sent her the money? You're ready to enroll, sis. That's why everything you just said is nonsense. Your college fund is a done deal, dealt with, past tense. I don't have to live below my means now. And I don't have to do crazy amounts of overtime anymore. I can live for myself, just like you said.
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
Huh? You don't know? Hang on a second. Have you still not heard? Aunt Petunia said that she told you the other day.
I haven't heard anything. Besides, she's the one who's always telling me to stop being a burden on my big sister. She says all I bring you is suffering.
Huh? What the hell? No, really? What the hell?
She constantly harps on at me about how I need to get a job, how what I'm doing is wrong, and that I can't spend my life leeching off of others. She said if I went to college, you'd have basically no life of your own for the next few years, 'cause you'd always be working to look out for me.
That's not true at all. I found work and saved up your college fund as quickly as I could, precisely, so you wouldn't think you were a perpetual burden on me. Anastasia told me something else too. She said you want to be a vet. Well, you can't be a vet without going to college, so you absolutely have to go.
I didn't say I wanted to be a vet. Ugh. Who does she think she is? She doesn't get to decide my future. I just said I thought it might be a cool job.
I think so too, Mackenzie. If anyone can do it, you can. You're the smartest person I know. You can't give up on your future like this. But wow, I can't believe your aunt would say all those things to you. I wonder what the hell's gotten into her. Actually, she told me recently about how you were considering dropping the college idea and finding a job straight out of high school. She said she thought I should be more considerate towards how you felt.
She did? Interesting. It's almost like she's been trying to stop me going to college.
Right? The fact she didn't tell you that I sent you your college fund after finally getting done saving up the money is even more worrying. No way! Is Aunt Petunia planning on stealing the money?
Surely she wouldn't. That's crazy talk. I'll go ask her.
No, don't. Wait. You should ask Uncle Derek first. But even then, you need to be discreet. Don't let on you anything. Come to think of it, it's not impossible that Derek's in on it too.
I don't think he'd do that. It wouldn't make sense. Uncle Derek's always trying to encourage me to go to college.
Good point, you're right. But do you at least understand now? That you have nothing to worry about even if you want to go to college.
But what if Aunt Petunia already spent my college fund?
If that's really what's going on here, I'll make sure she pays back every last cent of it. It's the last thing I do. No matter what crap she tries to pull, she will pay it back. Aunt Petunia, where are you right now?
Huh? Now? I'm out right now.
Please, could you come home?
Huh? Why? Is everything okay?
I'm at your place right now.
Oh, you are? I do wish you'd have told me you were coming. I would have prepared you some coffee and cakes. I'm really sorry, sweetie, but I'm on my way to a concert right now. It's my favorite singer, and I've been looking forward to this for such a long time. I'm sorry to let you down, but I won't be back until this evening.
No, you need to come home immediately.
What are you talking about? Don't you think you're being a little selfish here? I already bought my ticket. This is pretty much the only thing I've had to look forward to all year. Vivian, is everything all right? Is there something you want to tell me?
The only one being selfish here is you. You bought that ticket with Mackenzie's college fund, didn't you?
Huh? Excuse me? I really have no idea what you're talking about.
I just had a look through your closet. It was full of more expensive designer goods and music merchandise than I've ever seen in my life. You could open a store with all the crap in here. Not only that, but you hid it all away covering it up with old bed sheets so your husband Derek wouldn't find it, didn't you?
You've been rummaging through my closet without my permission? How dare you?
I got Uncle Derek's permission.
He gave you permission? Does that mean he knows?
Yes, he agreed to let me have a look around because he wanted to know where you were getting all your money from. I gotta admit, you did a pretty good job of keeping the wool over everyone's eyes all this time. Me and Mackenzie were told our mom and dad left us behind $35,000 in inheritance money, but the real figure was $70,000, wasn't it?
No, Vivian, you've got this all wrong. Looking after you two cost a lot of money, you know.
Are me and my sister really that expensive? Let's make a liberal estimate and say it costs you $400 a month each to look after us. You only look after me for a year, which would come to $4,800. The 5 years Mackenzie will have been with you, when she graduates high school comes to a total of $24,000. Even assuming you had all sorts of extra costs on top of that, if you started out with $70,000, you should easily have at least $35,000 of it left.
But, Vivian, please, hear me out. You have no idea how expensive raising girls can be.
I started sending Mackenzie a monthly allowance as soon as I left home and started working. She's proven more than capable of getting by on that. Sure, you may have bought her little things like candy and taken her out to eat every now and then, but whatever it comes to big purchases, I made sure she made them with money I'd sent her to reduce the burden on you as much as I possibly could.
But, Vivian, you have to remember I took the both of you in during your time of need. Taking in 2 girls, one in junior high and one in high school, is a huge commitment. Are you really going to hold this against me after everything I've done for you?
And guess what? It didn't come to anything near what you're saying.
I took you both in on a moment's notice. Surely it's only right that I get to keep half of the money as a fee for my troubles.
I'm not even saying you shouldn't get to keep a little something for yourself. You took on something most people wouldn't. But why didn't you just say that that's what you wanted from the start? We would have probably let you have some of it, if you'd just been honest with us. Oh yeah, and what about Mackenzie's college fund? You know, that freaking enormous sum of money I've been saving up for ever since I started working? Where did that go? It hasn't been seen since I sent it to her bank account.
Oh, that? Well, it's not like it's all gone or anything, but,
Where is it then?
where? I have it stashed away somewhere safe and sound, of course.
I asked Uncle Derek if he could look for it, but he said he couldn't find it anywhere despite practically turning the place upside down after doing some digging. I managed to find the traces of what you did with the money I gave you.
Vivian, I'm so sorry.
So you admit it then? That you stole and spent my parents' inheritance money and the money I spent years saving up so my sister could go to college? That's why you're trying to encourage her to find a job instead of going to college, isn't it?
I felt awful about what I was doing, but as soon as I started spending the inheritance money, I just couldn't stop. Things I just wanted seemed to keep appearing one after the other. First it was a bag in a shop window, then it'd be a restaurant for an advertisement on TV, then a pamphlet about luxury holidays showing up in my mailbox.
You're the worst. It wasn't.
Vivian, please forgive me. I'll do anything. I'll give back your sister's college money. I'll see to it that my husband comes up with it somehow. Huh? Me? By myself? Wait, but that means I'll have to get a job. No, I can't. You wouldn't force your poor old aunt to go out and work, would you?
You should know that Derek said that divorce isn't off the table.
Oh my God, but why? Sure, so maybe I did use a little more of your inheritance than I should, but you two are like daughters to me. I think the world of you.
Is this how you treat your daughters? Geez, I wouldn't want to be your enemy. You may have deceived us, but you know what? That isn't even what hurts the most. Because the feeling of being betrayed by someone you should be able to trust more than anyone in the world hurts a hell of a lot more. It makes me question everything. Was all the kindness all a ploy to get your mitts on our inheritance all along? We'll never know now, because we can't trust another word that comes out of your mouth.
I'm so sorry. I want you both to know how very sorry I am.
You could apologize a million times over, it still wouldn't bring the money back. Forget your empty words. If you're genuinely sorry, how about you show us by finding a job and getting to work on paying it back? You should know that I've been speaking to my grandpa on my dad's side. You know, your dad, he said he wants you out of his life, and that if he never hears from you again, he'll be a happy man.
What? But where am I supposed to go if Derek divorces me? I'll have nowhere. I'll be on the streets.
You're a grown adult. How about you see your brain and come up with a plan by yourself? Your position is a damn sight better than mine and Mackenzie's was when we lost Mom and Dad as teenagers. I'm sure you'll figure out something.
Vivian, please, won't you just hear me out? Listen, I'll forget all about tonight's concert and come home right now, and we can all talk this through together. My husband might be angry and talking about divorce now, but I just know he'll come around and help me come up with the money somehow once he calms down.
I wonder, will he really? I do think it's best for you to come home early, though. Uncle Derek left work early to come back when he found out what was going on. Not only him, but my grandparents on both sides of the family came over on short notice too. If you really think the world of me and my sister, and if you really think of us as your own daughters, you'll do your best to understand our feelings and undo the damage you've caused by working with us to come up with an affordable repayment plan. After returning home, Aunt Petunia was fiercely condemned by virtually the whole family in a chorus of righteous indignation and forced to explain her actions. It started out with the misappropriation of mine and my sister's inheritance money, which, despite being a hefty sum, was no match for her boundless greed, and soon disappeared. After that, desperate to continue her spending spree at all costs, and clearly feeling no shame or remorse, she began using Mackenzie's college fund instead. It was plain for anyone to see that her only motivation was the selfish compulsion to satisfy her unquenchable desire for luxury and extravagance, which meant that naturally she didn't have a single ally or sympathizer, family or otherwise. Eventually, too disgusted with his wife to carry on, Uncle Derek decided to divorce her and cut her out of his life for good. After taking a chunk of her assets after her misdeeds came to light in divorce court, he paid me and Mackenzie back the inheritance his ex-wife had stolen from us in full. As for Mackenzie's college fund, Petunia's dad was kind enough to give his wayward daughter her inheritance early, providing she agreed to promise to pay us back what she owed immediately. Once Petunia's family had their assurances, me and my sister would get back what was ours. They said their goodbyes and vowed never to speak to her again. Upon finding out, she burst into tears in a desperate fit of hysteria, yelled, "But how am I supposed to live now? I'm not going to pretend I feel any sympathy for her." I hope she thinks of her new life of loneliness and isolation as her just deserts for betraying her nieces. But with the amount of hours she's going to be working, I doubt she'll have the time. I'll always be thankful for her taking us in back then, but unfortunately, the shock and sadness of what she did far outweigh our feelings of gratitude. If I can avoid it, I'd rather never see her again. It's difficult to admit, but I feel that some responsibility lies with me. I let her deceive me with her smooth talking because I was so naive and unassuming. It didn't occur to me that someone I was supposed to be able to trust might be capable of betrayal. She taught me a valuable lesson about the world, and I plan to take much better care of my finances from now on. Me and my sister had a heart-to-heart once everything had calmed down. It turns out she actually had her sights set on a certain college all along, and with the air clear of our aunt's lies, she decided to enroll. The college she picked happened to be a 20-minute train ride from my workplace. Woohoo! When I told her I wanted her to move in with me, she burst into tears and gave me what felt like the biggest, tightest hug of my life. Now she's working her butt off for her high college finals to make sure she gets the grades required to get into college. Uncle Derek has been great throughout all this. He said Mackenzie could live with him until she graduated, so she's staying with him for the time being. That we're still his #1 priority, despite the fact he just went through a painful divorce, really says a lot about his character. He's a rock, and we'll always appreciate him. Thanks, Uncle Derek. We may have been betrayed by our scheming, deceitful aunt, but we were fortunate enough to be surrounded by a far greater number of loving and supporting family members. We'll never forget how they had our backs in our time of need, and we'll always be grateful, never taking their kindness for granted. I can hardly wait for Mackenzie to move in with me next year. We're gonna have the time of our lives.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Hey, Rex, it's your grandma. How's my favorite boy doing today?
Hey, Grandma. You don't have to tell me your name every time, you know? It pops up when you message me, so I'll still know it's you even if you don't tell me.
Oh, really? I didn't know. I'm still not used to this Peeps Messenger app. Modern technology is just amazing when you think about it.
You type really fast for someone who's not used to it.
I've always been really good with my hands. I was quick back when the first mobile phones came out, too.
Flip phones, right? Now we're talking dinosaur times.
Hey, watch your mouth, cheeky. You know, I'm really glad we can talk like this. It feels a lot more personal than email, almost like a real conversation.
I never really use email.
Now that you mention it, even that's becoming a thing of the past for you young people these days, isn't it? The world changes fast. There was a time when telephones and emails was all we had.
Did you and your friends email each other when you were at school?
Dear, people didn't even have computers when I was in school, let alone mobile phones. I was an adult when they came out.
Wow, really? So how did you spend your free time?
Just because we didn't have phones or computers doesn't mean we couldn't have fun. We made our own entertainment.
I used to play outside before Mom bought me a phone, but if I didn't have my phone now, I don't know what I'd do.
Technology or no technology, you can find ways to have fun wherever you are. You just have to use your imagination. Have you heard the phrase, variety is the spice of life before? It means that life's more exciting when you do lots of different things. You'll get bored eventually if you just play on your phone all the time.
Wow, really? I didn't know that one. You're actually a lot of fun to talk to, Grandma.
I enjoy talking to you too, Rex. I can really feel the generational gap when we speak, and I find it fascinating. I always leave our chats feeling refreshed. Plus, I can stay up to date on what's fashionable among you younglings these days.
You like new things, right? I think that's rare for a grandma.
The only reason I have an interest in the latest trends is because I'm lucky enough to have a grandson who always keeps me up to date on them. I have you to thank. Even back before we spoke online like this, we'd speak for hours when you came over to my house a few times a week.
Yep. Our old house used to be near yours, so I could come whenever I wanted, but it's been hard for me to come see you ever since Mom and Dad split up.
Right. Are you used to living with your mom yet? How are things?
Yep, I'm used to it. Things are going okay. I think it'd be cool if I could still see you and Dad sometimes, though. Dad's gonna marry his new girlfriend, so I don't think I'll be able to see him again.
Why should that stop you? You can still see him if you want to.
But it's gonna be hard for us to meet up.
Oh, is it? How's middle school these days? Do teachers keep you busy?
Yeah, it feels like I'm 100 times busier than I was in elementary school. I have to study at home a lot now, and then there's homework on top of it.
I can't believe you're already in your second year. Oh, how time flies. How does it feel to know you have juniors there already?
It feels like I'm growing up. I sometimes help out teaching the first-year kids in gym class.
Wow, you do? That's amazing. Your teachers must really trust you. When did you get so grown up all of a sudden? I bet you're always out playing with your friends, right? Be careful you don't get involved in any accidents.
It's fine. I don't really go out to play that often anyway.
But middle school's when everyone starts to go out to play together, right? Don't you go out for food with your friends? Or out to play baseball? You know, things like that.
Not really.
No, you don't? Why is that?
I'm too busy with my after-school clubs and homework. I don't have time to go out to play.
But all work and no play makes a Jack a dull boy. It's important to have fun sometimes. If you can't play when you're young, when can you? You're only young once, you know.
I can enjoy my youth at school.
But playing outside with your friends is a different kind of fun. Not only that, but the amazing memories you create with your friends now will stay with you forever. I want you to make so many exciting memories that you always have something fun and interesting to look back on when you grow up.
I'll think about it.
Do that.
Are you worried about me, Grandma? Do you feel anxious because I'm not close by anymore?
I'm always worried about you, Rex. You're my precious grandson. I can't help it. Look after yourself, sweetie.
I will. You look after yourself too, Grandma.
Rex, is everything okay lately?
What do you mean?
Your dad told me about what you said to him. Apparently, you asked him for some pocket money? That's not like you.
Oh, he told you?
I was very surprised. I've never known you ask for money before. Never mind money. You never asked for anything. I couldn't help but feel curious. Is everything okay? Why did you need the money for?
Everything's fine.
Is someone extorting money out of you?
Extorting? What's that? Like stealing? No way, it's nothing like that. I just didn't have enough money.
Really? Hey, Margaret. Long time no see. It's me, Joanne. Oh, hi there, Joanne. It really has been a while. Sorry if Rex made you worry. It looks like you heard about him asking his dad for money. I can tell you now, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. It wasn't for anything big. I'm so relieved to hear that, dear. I was worried he might be in some kind of trouble. He's a nightmare, I tell you. Ever since he moved up to middle school, he's been doing nothing but hanging out with his friends. One day, they'll be going out for hamburgers, the next tacos, then they'll be spending the day at Peep Donald's. He spends money like it grows on trees. I told him he'd run out, but, of course, being as stubborn as he is, he didn't listen, which is why he ended up taking his dad for some pocket money. Really? That's strange. He told me he doesn't go out much. He said his schedule's filled up with his after-school clubs and studies. Don't tell me you believed him. He was lying so you wouldn't be mad at him. He's always out with his friends, just like most kids are when they're in his age. That's great. I was starting to worry. I'm pleased to hear that he's going out doing kid stuff. Obviously, it's not ideal that he's spending so much money, but kids will be kids, right? I know they don't have much sense of a value of money at that age, but I'm gonna struggle if he doesn't rein it soon. Of course, we tell him that, but it's like it goes in one ear and out of the other. Ooh, his first rebellious phase. Color me surprised. He really must be growing up. You might have not realized, but he's always on his best behavior when you're around, but he can be a real Torak sometimes. I'd appreciate if you could have a word with him about it at some point. You know, now that you mention it, Darrell went through his first rebellious phase when he was that age. I never understood why, but boys always seem to be more disobedient with their moms. That is so true. I've been thinking the same thing lately. He was nowhere near as bad with Daryl. I'm exhausted enough to work without having an unruly 12-year-old to deal with on top of this. What are you doing for work these days? I work in the office at an insurance company. Things are super hectic because we are understaffed, but the pay's too good for me to quit. I'm always in desperate need of cash with Rex to look after, so I've been putting in some serious hours lately. I trust my son doing his part to help you out with the finances. If you're ever struggling and feel like things are getting too much, I want you to know I'll always be here to help out. Yeah, Daryl's helping. He pays me child support, remember? Thanks, Margaret. That means a lot. If things get any tighter, I'll reach out. You're the best mother-in-law in the world. I don't want to over-rely on you, though, so I really will only say anything if I'm desperate. Of course. I'm rooting for you, Joanne. If anyone can do this, it's you.
Grandma, I need to talk to you about something.
Huh? Rex, why so serious? Is everything okay?
Well, can I have $200? I promise I'll pay you back. Please?
What? What on earth could you need $200 for? That's a lot of money, Rex. Did you want to get a new game console or something?
It's not that. It's for the school field trip.
Huh? Wait. What? The school field trip? You mean your mom can't give you it?
We don't have any money left.
But your mother's been working so hard lately. Did she splash out on something big?
Well, Grandma, promise you won't get mad, okay? It's my fault. We don't have any money left because I hang out with my friends too much.
Really?
Mom told you before, right?
Well, she did, but I didn't know she spent that much. You mean you've been spending so much money that you can't even afford to go on your field trips anymore?
Yep.
That just can't be.
It can, and it is. It's true, Grandma. You're the only person I have to rely on. I didn't know what else to do.
But you're not that kind of boy.
You don't know me anymore. I'm different now. I changed a lot since I moved up to middle school.
I believe in you, Rex, and I refuse to believe you're capable of being so irresponsible. You are not that kind of boy. I knew it. I had a feeling something suspicious was going on. This just confirms it.
Something suspicious? What do you mean?
You used to go out to play with your friends all the time. And after schools on the weekends back before your mom and dad divorced. It seems strange to me that when they separated and you move up to middle school, You suddenly stopped going out and started spending all of your time at after-school clubs and doing homework. Then there was the whole thing with you asking your dad for pocket money. What's going on here, Rex? There must be a reason for all of this. I want you to know that you can tell me anything.
But my mom told you about how I'm always out hanging with my friends, right? Don't you believe her?
It's not that I don't believe her. It's that I can't believe her because I know you're not like that. Won't you tell me what's going on?
There's no money left.
What does that mean?
Mom doesn't make any money. All she does is go out with her friends all day, every day. She hardly works at all.
But how are you two supposed to get by if she's not working? You are getting by, aren't you?
No, the gas and electric got turned off. Even the water goes off sometimes, Grandma. Do you believe me?
Of course I do. Are you eating properly?
When I get home from school, there's always a pile of coins left on the living room table. I use that to buy my breakfast and dinner from the store. As for lunch, I eat that in the school cafeteria.
A pile of coins? How much?
Usually about $5.
You eat breakfast and dinner on $5 a day? There's no way such a paltry amount can be enough to satisfy the heart appetite of a growing child.
I don't think Mom knows I need more food since I went up to middle school. She seems to think I'll be okay with elementary school-sized portions. She doesn't care about me.
But how can this be happening? Your mom should be getting child support payments from your dad every month. She should have more than enough to feed you properly. Do you know whether she's getting the money?
Really? My dad sends Mom money? I had no idea. She probably spends it all on alcohol. Our house is full of empty wine bottles and beer cans.
Oh my God, Rex. You must be perpetually hungry.
Things have been tough lately. I'm always tired because I have to do my debt collector job.
Your debt collector job? What the devil does that mean?
Mom said I have to find people who will lend us money. She said people are more likely to give it to me because I'm a little kid and they'll feel sorry for me.
What in God's name? Wait, is that why you asked your dad for pocket money?
Yeah, Mom told me to. But the trouble is, as soon as I do get any money, Mom spends it right away. So no matter how hard I work, we're always poor. That's why I can't afford to go on the field trip, and I really, really want to go, so I asked you.
You mean your mom won't pay?
She told me to forget about it. She said if I'm so desperate to go, I need to come up with the money myself somehow. She said there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Wow. I finally understand why you don't go out with your friends that much. You can't afford to, can you? You poor thing. You did the right thing in telling me about all of this. I think you're very brave and I'm proud of you.
I couldn't tell my dad. Mom says he's getting remarried soon. If I told him, it'd cause him nothing but trouble.
Whether he's getting remarried or not, he's your dad and you should talk to him. You can't carry on living with your mom if things are this dire.
But my dad has a new girlfriend now. I don't want to get in their way.
Get in their way? Don't be silly, Rex. You're his son. You can never be in his way. Listen to me. If you go and live with your dad, I can help you. If that's not possible, you can come and live with me.
I'm scared. I think Mom's gonna be mad with me for telling you all this, but I don't care. Because I really, really want to go on this field trip. Plus, I want to go for hamburgers with my friends after school sometimes too. I want to play and hang out like everyone else, but I always have to drop out whenever they do anything that costs money. I feel so left out. I just want to do normal kid stuff.
Oh my God, you poor, poor thing. Everything's going to be okay now, sweetie. Leave it with me. We're going to have you out playing with your friends before you know it. Margaret? Rex is missing. I found a goodbye note on the table. Is he with you?
Yes, he is. I came and took him while you weren't there. Daryl's been made aware of the situation, and he's on his way as we speak. He was starving when I came to collect him, so I treated him to all of his favorites as soon as we got back.
I'm grateful for you feeding him, but please, you can't just take him whenever you feel like it. You need to talk to me first. I was so worried.
I wouldn't have to if you fed him properly. He told me everything. I know all about how you spend most of your time out drinking with your girlfriends. You hardly work at all, do you?
What? That's not true at all. Did Rex tell you that?
Yes, he did. I believed him when he told me, but I knew for sure he was telling the truth when I came to collect him and saw the diabolical state of your house. Mountains of trash everywhere, random piles of leftovers, files, maggots, empty wine bottles and beer cans strewn over the floor. I've seen cleaner pigsties. Not only that, but your postbox was full of debt collections, letters and notices of unpaid utility and tax bills. Oh, and it would appear your bank account's totally empty.
My bank account? How did you see my bank account?
I picked a letter at random and read all about how your balance is zero, and you owe hundreds of dollars in overdraft. You've been living the high life on Darlin's child support payments, haven't you? That money was supposed to be for Rex.
What the hell would you had me do? I'm a single mother. Do you have any idea how hard it is to raise a boy on your own? Get off your high horse. So what if I let my hair down with my girlfriends every now and then? What's the problem? You act like I'm some kind of criminal.
Go on. How are you going to justify sending Rex out to collect money to fund your diabolical lifestyle? This should be good. You've got some nerve, woman. You told me you didn't want to overly rely on me. And yet, there you were sponging off my son the whole time like some shameless parasite.
Back off, Margaret. I work, so Rex has a duty to bring money in too. He's the man of the house, and he'll be doing it for real one day. So what's the harm in him learning how to support a household from a young age?
Your 12-year-old son does not have a duty to support you financially while you go out getting wasted. If you're not capable of looking after him on your own, you have no right to be a mother. Darylyn will be taking full custody.
Over my dead body. Besides, he's getting remarried to his new girlfriend soon. Like hell am I gonna let some smelly bimbo play mommy to my Rex? He's not having him.
He said himself he'll be taking him in. He said he's willing to take you to court if that's what it takes. Do you really think you have a hope in hell's chance of winning if this goes before a judge after what you did? It could be more obvious that you're financially incapable of bringing up a child.
Does my son get to say in this? Did Rex say at any point that he wants to live with his dad? Did he? Well, because if he did, he sure as hell didn't tell me.
Of course he wants to live with his dad. Are you insane? There isn't a kid on the planet who wants to carry on living the life you're subjecting him to. The only reason he didn't tell you is because he's afraid you'll get mad at him. He's shy and sensitive at the best of times. There was no way he was ever going to tell you something that would clearly make you blow your top. He's been keeping everything bottled up the whole time.
Bull! I bet you and Daryl put him up to saying it. Have you been brainwashing my son behind my back? I knew letting him have a phone was a mistake.
You're wrong, Mom. Grandma is telling the truth. I don't want to live with you anymore.
Huh? Rex?
I'm so sick and tired of having to put up with you. I want to live with my dad and Grandma. I know I'll be happier with them.
Rex, you can't seriously mean that. You'd abandon your own mother? What kind of lies has that woman been filling your head with? You can't trust her.
Don't insult my grandma. How can you accuse Grandma of telling me lies when you tell lies about me all the time? Not to mention all the nasty things you say about me. You made me tell her the reason we had no money left, and I had to ask Dad for money was because I was always hanging out with my friends and spending it all. But even when I lied to her, Grandma didn't believe me because she knew I wouldn't do that.
You stupid little brat. You went babbling about everything the moment she showed you a little kindness, didn't you? You gullible idiot!
You just don't get it, Mom. You don't get it because you're sick and twisted and need help.
How dare you? That is no way to speak to your mother, boy. There will be hell to pay for this.
You're not my mom anymore. Starting today, I'm going through a rebellious phase lasting the rest of my life towards you and only you. I'll never listen to another word you say.
What? I'm not joking, boy. This is serious. Who do you think gave birth to you? Show some gratitude.
It's me again. It's time to be quiet, Joanne. You're a disgrace. The bottom line is that Rex will be staying with us from now on, and that's non-negotiable. You can speak to Daryl if you have anything else to say.
No, I have things to say to you too. Stop moving things along like I have no say in the matter. I'm Rex's mom, for crying out loud.
You lost the right to be his mom when you stopped feeding him properly and forced him to go out begging for money to fund your shameful, irresponsible lifestyle. I have nothing more to say to you. You can get a hold of your own money from now on. You can't use your son as an excuse for being broke anymore. Go on, off you go to work. You wouldn't want to over-rely on anyone now, would you? Apparently, Joanne did really try to get a hold of some money by herself without relying on Rex after our last conversation. However, after being turned down by all of her friends, whose gut feelings probably told them they'd never see any money they lent her again, she had no choice but to resort to a loan shark. Which is why now she's up to her ears in debt. As for Rex, my son Darylin gladly gave him the $200 he needed to pay for his field trip. He had a blast. Daryl's new wife was happy to have Rex move in with them, and now the three of them are living happily together a long, long way from his mother. Not long after the events of today's story, Rex transferred to a school not far from his dad's house. Luckily for him, his new school hasn't been on their annual field trip at the time he transferred, which meant he got to go on 2 in 1 year. Nice timing. He had no trouble fitting in and making friends, and he told me he enjoyed his second field trip even more than the first. He had a rough time of it, so I think an extra field trip was just what he needed. Daryl tells me Rex is always out with his friends after school and on the weekends. I couldn't be happier to see him finally getting to enjoy his childhood, like all kids should. Rex and his new stepmom get on amazingly well. Me and him are still in regular contact, and judging from the content of his messages, he seems happier than ever. My house isn't far from Daryl's, so me and my grandson see each other all the time now. It warms my old heart to see him happily playing on his phone. That said, I'm trying to keep his screen time to a minimum and teach him the joys of making his own fun using his imagination. I'm so happy I get to watch my grandson grow again.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.